cut this. And so for a volar splint, we'll do your side without the watch there. Volar splint, you're just going to cut a hole for a thumb. So I just lay that on there. And then you just kind of look and eyeball where the thumb is, right about there. And you can cut it a pretty good piece off. Yep, that's good. We'll go past the elbow a little bit. That looks good. Okay. And remember with your volar splints, you're actually only coming to about the crease on the metacarpal phalangeal joint. So you can even fold that down a little bit. They should be able to flex their fingers unless you're trying to immobilize a proximal phalanx fracture. But if you did that, you'd have them in a radial gutter or ulnar gutter. So just for a distal radius fracture, you're only coming down to about that crease. All right, so we'll do our padding. And the Weberil kind of stops at that crease. So you can go past it a little bit just to, thanks Ken, just so you can roll it back and make a nice, comfortable splint. And this is 2-inch I'm using here. And you can, you know, with the distal radius fracture, you kind of want to pad their radius too, because they're going to be sore there. I do a lot more padding on the plaster than I do fiberglass. Because remember, the plaster has no padding built into it. All right, and then we're just going to go around and around.
For the people who like numbers, what do you think? 6 layers?
Yeah, I'd say at least 6, maybe. Yeah, I'd say at least 6.
So plaster 6 to 10.
Yeah, and this Weberil is actually thicker. This stuff's really nice. You get different qualities of it too. But see how it's going up at an angle? I'll just tear that. It's kind of like taping an ankle. You just kind of, if you don't like the angle you're going, you tear it. And I go, you know, here's their antecubital fossa. See the wrinkle there? So that's their antecubital fossa. I want the splint to go up 2 inches from that. So I'm going to do my Weberil up past that because I'm going to roll this down. And so your splint's only going to go to there.
So you're not immobilizing the elbow most of the time for
No,
these types.
you don't want this to pinch when they bend their arm up. You don't want it to pinch. All right, so now we're going to do our plaster. So she can just relax. Now we're going to do this part. I'm going to do my plaster roll. Okay. So we'll come over here on the table and show this.
Sorry.
This is a roll plaster. This is 3-inch. I'm going to do it over a towel because it's really messy. And I'm just going to go over here and measure on her how long I want it. Hope I don't get it on her. So about there. And we're going to go to about there. See that? And you just make your crease there. And I'm going to come back over here. And then I usually do about 10 layers on this.
So 6 to 10 padding, 10 layers.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's plenty. Yep. And you just kind of fold it. And just go back and forth. I don't know with that white background, but I just don't want to get it all over the room. It's hard to tell remotely if you guys haven't used this. This stuff's messy. But like I said, it makes a really nice splint. It conforms nicely. So there are some pros to it. You don't have as much issue with pressure points because this stuff goes any way you want it to. When you get your thickness done, you just tear it. You don't have to cut it. All right, so we're going to wet this down. And you want to have your ace wraps ready before you wet it down. That's another thing I should have said before. But so I've got a 2-inch and I've got a 3-inch. That's plenty. So have that ready. So those are ready to go. We're going to dip this in the water. And you can kind of give it a quick wring out here. I'm using my fingers just to kind of squeeze it out. And I'm going to come over here and we're going to roll it up. And now is where you're giving it a really good squeeze to get all that water out. Okay. And we're ready to put her on there. I'm kind of stretching it out now because that looks good. So stay off the skin. See that right there, how I got kind of close to her skin? There we go. And you can go ahead and pull this down now if you want. Then you got her all covered up, so there's no area that's going to pinch. See that, guys?
Mm-hmm. What's that netting called again?
Stockinette.
Stockinette. That stuff makes it look really nice.
It really does. I mean, plaster, I rip on it all the time, but it was a good invention. I mean, just, I didn't realize, I thought the fiberglass was a lot more expensive. But, so we're just wrapping. I like 2-inch. I think it just goes around the wrist and hand. You can use 3 and cut a hole for the thumb. I've done that many times. Don't wrap tight too, by the way. I don't know if you can tell from the video, but I'm not pulling hard. I'm pretty much just laying that on there. You don't want to restrict their blood flow. Sometimes I put a little Coban over the outside of it if it's a peds patient, so I can see if they've been in it. You know, sometimes these kids they take stuff off at home.
Mm-hmm.
If they take the Coban off, you kind of know.
Because it's all wrinkled and stuff.
Right. And now I'm going to start molding it now that I've got her done. A little bit of extension. Make sure she's not ulnar deviated or radial deviated. And just hold that while it hardens, and that's about it. Do you guys have any questions? So it sounds like...
I don't. You did a great job. Thank you.
Thanks. It sounds like we're going to be getting some fiberglass, so